questions for Coach Beck.
Where do you feel like you're at with kind of figuring out who your guys are on the offensive line?
I think in the offensive line, we're pretty close. We feel like we've got 7 or 8 that are ready to play right now. We're still moving a few people around a little bit. For instance, since we flip-flop our offensive line, we try to train some guys to play guard and tackle on the same side at times. But we're seeing a group of guys that have several of them have a lot of experience. They just haven't played together very much. So it will take a little bit of time for them to get that cohesiveness that the offensive line needs. But love their attitude and love some of the things that they're doing. Once we get past that first group with probably another 3 or 4 guys, then we drop off pretty significant. But we got some young guys that are really, really going to be good players eventually. Clinton being one of them, but he just got to learn how to play the game and learn how to continue to get better as a player.
Coach, how do you feel as if Blaze is coming along in terms of preparing for his opportunity or any opportunity that he gets this season?
Blaze has been up and down quite a bit. He didn't have a great day today. He's really frustrated with himself, especially on the early pick. He's had some practices though where he was lights out. He's just too inconsistent right now. He's just got to learn from his mistakes and continue to grow. Every once in a while, you think about Blaze's situation where he's been behind Diego for a few years now, but I have to remind myself and go back and watch when he was playing in the Conference USA Championship game and what he did as a young 18-year-old and come in and played really well. So Blaze has it in him. He like I said, he didn't have a great day today. He's a little frustrated with himself, but he has made a lot of progress since last year.
What about Diego is different from what it was last year?
Again, just another year in the system. He's phenomenal at being able to check stuff at the line of scrimmage. A lot of times we'll give him 2 plays to go up, but every once in a while as a play caller, you can be wrong, and he does a great job of making us look right, And so yesterday we had an example of that where we were running a 2-minute offensive situation against each other, and I called something, and he's like, "Yeah, that's good, but let's do the nod." I'm like, "The nod's not going to be there because the corner's not going to buy it," and we end up throwing the nod for a touchdown. So he knew it better than I did, I guess. So he just understands. And has a great idea, especially on protections and stuff, where to put our offensive line in the best situation.
And what's the next step that you think he can take as a player?
He still, every once in a while, lets his emotions get to him, and he will try to force some things and try to do a little bit too much at times. When he's playing within himself and playing kind of within what we allow him to do and what he knows he can do, he's fantastic. When he starts to press a little bit or gets a little bit frustrated at times, then he can try to do too much, and that can cause you problems.
What do you think of Jack Elliott today in his first scrimmage?
Jack was a little frustrated with himself. He had a fumble that he was, he felt like, the guys are playing in the heat, ball's slick, those kind of things, but you got to get used to it. But the thing that everybody, we look at Jack and we feel like he has the potential to be a Diego type player. He's aggressive. He's very smart. He's very he's a fierce competitor, and so it's one of those situations where we've got so many quarterbacks. We just got to try to find ways to get him more reps.
Coach, what does Trey Richardson add to this team, especially on offense?
Juice and speed. Trey is has come in from the very beginning and did exactly what we knew he would do, and he's obviously been a great addition for us.
Snap penalties on the line. I know Clark has said those are lapses in concentration. You can't have those. Is that something that happens though when you've got a bunch of you guys playing together? You're kind of thinking beyond the snap to what's next when you're still learning. Is that letting your guys off too easily?
That's a great question because you can look at it both ways, and that's one of the things that we, to be successful in the SEC, we have to be super disciplined with snap count. and we've got to be able to be better at drawing people off sides. We've got to be able to go on different multiple accounts. If you just go on the same snap count all the time, in the SEC, the defensive line is going to get off as fast as your line off, and that's a problem. So it's definitely an area that we got to get better at, and I think that it's something that we can use to our advantage, and so we just have to continue to be more disciplined with it and focused.
As you look at, I mean, obviously you've had an offense that's succeeded for a long time. Obviously teams have seen it now. Is there anywhere personnel-wise where maybe you can be a little different, or is there anything you reflect on and say, well, I want to change that going into this year at all, or is it kind of the same?
I think the big thing is we're still early enough in camp where we're trying to determine who all those playmakers are. And we've had a few guys banged up that we haven't been able to see enough reps on to really determine all that. But we're still early enough that we got to keep going against each other and doing things and finding out who those guys are, because you do want to adjust a few things according to what personnel you have. It's still a matter of trying to get your best 11 on the field. And sometimes if you've got a tight end out and then you put the next tight end in, is that tight end going to help us more than another receiver that we can put in the game? So those are all situations. Sometimes you may have a really good running back that's standing on the sideline that needs to be in the game, and so sometimes you need to be in more two-back stuff. So it just kind of depends on personnel, but again, we're still early stages of determining all that.
What does Jordan Matthews add to teaching your guys?
Oh, he's been fantastic, and he did a great presentation the other day on recovery, on how to take care of your body and how to eat right and how to do all the things you need to be and be a pro. And that's what we're wanting our guys to act like. We want them to act like pros, and we want them to treat their bodies and take care of themselves like pros, so that gives them the best opportunity to be successful out here.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Yep.